There is something about the Ozarks that teaches you to stop looking. You walk the gravel road down to the mailbox past the brush pile without glancing at the shadow underneath it. You let the dog off the porch at dusk without checking the tree line. You wade into the same swimming hole you've waded into every June since you were a kid, and you do not think, not once, about what might be holding still just beneath the surface. That is not carelessness. It is a kind of agreement the whole region seems to have signed, that the wild things live somewhere else, deeper in the national forest, out past the last gravel turnoff. Not here, not on this bluff trail, not in this creek. But the animals never signed that agreement. They are in the leaf litter. They are under the dock. They are denning in the rock ledge you have walked past 1,000 times. And the people who live closest to them are usually the ones who have trained themselves hardest not to see them. Refuse to go near sounds like fear, like locals steering clear out of caution. That is not what this is. What actually happens is the opposite. People move closer to these animals every single day, without meaning to, because refusing to go near something and refusing to acknowledge it are two very different postures, and the Ozarks have quietly chosen the second one. Today we are counting down 9 predators that live across Missouri and Arkansas, in numbers most residents would refuse to believe, ranked not by which one is deadliest on paper, but by how completely the people sharing this ground with them have agreed to pretend they are not there. By the time we reach number 1, you may understand why the quietest animal on this list is the one an entire state's wildlife agency describes, in its own words, as having gone from anomaly to normality, while most people in its own backyard still say they had no idea it was there at all. Before we start, if this is the kind of thing that keeps your mind turning after dark, go ahead and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it helps the channel. And while you're here, I want to know one thing. Where in the Ozarks are you watching from right now? Drop your town in the comments. Now, let's get into the list. Number 9. The brown recluse spider. We begin with the animal already living inside the walls. The Ozarks sit inside the core native range of Loxosceles reclusa, and Missouri's own wildlife department confirms it is common, sometimes abundant, statewide, under rocks and logs outdoors, and quietly indoors year-round. Its bite is cytotoxic, capable of eating through tissue, and in rare systemic cases, mostly in patients under 30, it can trigger kidney injury and death if left untreated. Cox Medical Center in Branson treats several spider bite patients every single year. This one recluse population alone keeps a wound care clinic in business. The denial here is not fear, it's dismissal. Nobody flinches at a spider. People pull holiday decorations out of storage, reach barehanded into wood piles, shake out boots without a second thought, because brown recluse sounds like folklore passed down at summer camp, not a resident predator sharing the crawl space under the same roof they sleep under. Number 9 belongs to the animal already inside the house, waiting for someone to reach into the dark without looking first. Number 8. The bobcat. If the recluse is invisible because it's small, the bobcat is invisible because it's mistaken. It hunts every county in the Ozarks, working the exact seam where forest runs into farmland, cemetery, or golf course edge. An adult runs anywhere from 8 to nearly 50 pounds depending on region and sex, and Missouri's population is now estimated between 5,000 and 7,000 animals, concentrated historically in the Ozarks and the Boot Heel, expanded now across the whole state. The denial is misidentification, and it is almost total. NBC once reported 3 separate people in Texas, bitten by bobcat kittens they had mistaken for house cats. That same mistake happens across the Ozarks constantly. A huge barn cat is easier to accept than a resident predator working a hunting circuit along the back fence. And here's the strange twist. Bobcats are frequently misreported as mountain lions too. 2 different predators, borrowing each other's myths so that neither one gets believed. Number 8 goes to the animal hiding behind the story people tell themselves about their own cat. Number 7, the coyote. If the bobcat is a rumor, the coyote is a headline nobody reads. It is confirmed in all 114 Missouri counties, denning in creek bottoms and hollows, and increasingly at the literal edges of towns like Branson and Fayetteville, with sightings now reaching downtown St. Louis. An adult runs 18 to 30 pounds, and in 2021 alone, wildlife estimates suggested the population doubled. The denial isn't disbelief. Everyone knows coyotes exist. It's a failure to update. A coyote crossing a lit road at night still gets filed under someone's dog got loose, because that is the only file most people keep. Nobody carries around the fact that the population they assume is stable just doubled in a few short years. Number 7 belongs to the predator that grew by half again while everyone kept using an old map. Number 6, the copperhead. Now we move from animals people mistake for something else to the animal people simply step past. The copperhead is responsible for more venomous bites than any other snake in both Missouri and Arkansas. Nationally, it causes an estimated 2,920 bites a year. Arkansas alone reports the third highest snake bite rate of any state in the country, nearly 3 times the national average. Missouri sees roughly 100 venomous snake bites a year statewide. And yet the case fatality rate is exceedingly low, close to nothing at all, which is exactly why it earns this spot instead of a lower one. Here, the denial is built entirely on the snake's own defense. A copperhead's first instinct is not to flee, it's to freeze. Its camouflage is so effective that Missouri researchers tracking them with radio telemetry near a popular St. Louis area trail have found people can walk within a few feet of one on a well-used path and never know it. People garden bare-handed in exactly this cover, telling themselves there's nothing out here, while a copperhead 10 feet away has gone completely still, betting correctly that it will not be noticed. Number 6 goes to the snake that is not hiding from you. It is simply trusting you not to look closely enough. Number 5, the cottonmouth, or water moccasin. If the copperhead is the snake on land, the cottonmouth is the one that ruins the water. It lives across the southern and eastern Ozark drainages, the White River, the Buffalo National River Corridor, and the countless spring-fed creeks families return to every single summer. It is thick-bodied, hemotoxic, and when cornered, it does not flee. It stands its ground. The denial is the easiest one to fall into because it costs nothing to believe. Every dark shape gliding through Ozark Creek water gets waved off as a stick or a harmless water snake because looking closer would change how the whole afternoon feels. Number 5 belongs to the animal that turns water. You trust into water you've simply decided not to think about. We're at the halfway mark, and if you're still here, you're clearly someone who actually wants to know what's out there. So hit subscribe if you haven't yet, because from this point, the list stops being something you can shrug off on the drive home. Number 4, the timber rattlesnake. Missouri's largest venomous snake lives across rocky bluffs, glades, and hardwood ridges throughout the Ozark Plateau, with some of the highest densite densities in the country documented in the Boston Mountains of the Ozark National Forest and along northern Missouri's river bluffs. Missouri's own field guide describes it as dangerously venomous, but says, in its own words, that few Missourians ever encounter one, and it is mostly nocturnal through summer. The denial here inverts everyone else's. It is not that people refuse to believe the timber rattlesnake exists. It's that its rarity is a lie of timing, not of numbers. The ones denning by the dozens under that exact rock ledge on your favorite trail are doing it precisely where nobody thinks to check, at precisely the hour nobody is out there to see it. Rare just means off schedule and off map. Number 4 goes to the snake that isn't absent. It's simply keeping different hours than you. Number 3, The feral hog. Now we reach the animal the Ozarks cannot get rid of and mostly refuses to reckon with. North Central Arkansas is one of only 4 federally designated feral hog project zones under the USDA National Control Program. Nationally, feral hogs cause an estimated $1.5 billion in damage every year. In Arkansas alone, that figure runs $19 to $41 million annually. A single sounder can strip a pasture bare in one night. And they carry more than 45 transmissible diseases, several of them zoonotic, meaning they can jump straight to the people who corner them. The denial is the scale. People know feral hogs exist the way they know deer ticks exist, a nuisance, someone else's fence line. What they don't picture is the number, or the aggression, or that a 200-pound boar armored in gristle and tusk will hold its ground and charge rather than run. Number 3 belongs to the animal quietly costing the region tens of millions of dollars while being filed under farm problem. Number 2, the mountain lion. We've arrived at the real apex predator of the Ozark Wild, and it is so rarely seen that its rarity has curdled into a myth that it is simply gone. It is not gone. A 2025 peer-reviewed study modeled roughly 63,000 square kilometers of suitable cougar habitat concentrated in central and southeastern Missouri, built from a decade of DNA-verified occurrences. These are confirmed dispersing males, not hoaxes, moving in from western states. Missouri's large carnivore response team has logged more than 100 confirmed cases since 1996. The state's last known historic mountain lion was killed in 1927. The denial here is myth override. Missourians treat the mountain lion as a story from a century ago, a mascot, a legend, while a published habitat model says 2/3 of the state's central and southeastern forest is suitable range for one moving through it right now. Number 2 goes to the ghost the Ozarks talk about in the past tense, while it is very much alive in the present. Number 1, the black bear. And so we arrive at number 1, and it is, of course, the black bear. Not because it is the most exotic animal on this list, but because it is the one the Ozarks have most perfected the art of not seeing. Bears were extirpated from Missouri by 1931 and nearly wiped out in Arkansas by the 1930s, down to just 40 or 50 animals. Arkansas's reintroduction from 1958 to 1968 of 254 bears from Minnesota and Manitoba is now recognized as the most successful large carnivore reintroduction in American history. The interior highlands, the Ozark and Ouachita National Forests, now hold an estimated 5,000 bears or more. Missouri's own population has climbed to roughly 800, growing at 9% a year, which means it could double within a decade. Range creep is already confirmed toward Lake of the Ozarks and the edges of St. Louis. And in 2018, a bear was photographed walking straight through residential Baldwin. The denial here is not disbelief in the abstract. It's personal surprise in the specific. One of Missouri's own bear biologists put it plainly. Black bears have gone from anomaly to normality in the southern part of the state. And yet residents in counties that have quietly held a growing bear population for over a decade still say, when one turns up on a trail camera, "I had no idea there were bears here." Number 1 belongs to the 9% a year animal that the region keeps discovering for the first time over and over in the same counties year after year. So here is what this list is really about. Not fear. Fear is easy, and it burns off by morning. It's about the agreement, the quiet one, that lets a region build its cabins and float trips and back porches over a food chain that never left, and is entirely indifferent to the people moving through it. The copperhead is still going still in the exact garden bed you knelt in last spring. The timber rattlesnake is still denning under a bluff you've hiked past 100 times without stopping. And somewhere past a gravel road you've driven for years, A mountain lion the state didn't bother confirming until a DNA lab did it for them, is moving through the dark, in a place most people decided, a century ago, was a legend. The creek is the same creek whether or not you're looking at it. The bears were here before the cabins had names, and the surface of every spring-fed swimming hole in the Ozarks tells you almost nothing about what is holding still beneath it, waiting the way it has waited since long before there was anyone here to pretend otherwise.